Fort Sill, a team of unique people. People who form the fiber that defines who we are. We are Team Sill, comprised of soldiers, families, civilian employees, and contractors. Together, we've made Fort Sill a true center of excellence. Through a wide variety of community activities and civic involvement, Team Sill supports a balanced lifestyle. We are a model for our Army and our nation of what professional organizations and great citizens are all about. Team Sill stands ready to face the challenges of any enemy. We are physically and mentally tough. We reintegrate returning soldiers with their families and support those preparing to deploy. We train as we fight. We maintain our equipment and our families. We are steadfast and disciplined. We are vigilant in a time of war. We are fit to fight. Team Sill is innovative. Whether it's an Army spouse learning to cope with deployments or contractors collaborating on new weapon systems, we lead from the front. We are air defense and field artillery, soldiers, Marines, Air Force, and Navy. We are a joint and combined force, collaborating with professionals to blend new technology and doctrine to support the fight. We are agile and decisive. Team Sill has a rich Oklahoma heritage, overcoming conflicts, making new friends, reaching out to our neighbors, and embracing our differences. We remain a team. We come from the 50 United States, from many countries around the world, from diverse cultures, yet we have a common goal. We are committed to each other. We are a values-based team, a community of choice. We volunteer in hospitals, in schools, wherever and whenever our team needs us, we are there. We support the safety and well-being of our great nation. Team Sill strives for excellence in all we do. We are synonymous with pride. Pride in Oklahoma, pride in Fort Sill soldiers and families, pride in the Army and our nation. We are Team Sill.
Good evening. My name is Colonel Raymond Lacey, and I'm the Fort Sill Garrison Commander. And welcome to our quarterly town hall meeting. Tonight we've introduced a number of new elements to our town hall. In addition to our new starting time, we've streamed it live over the internet. And in a few minutes, one of my staff will come up and tell you how to access the live feed over the internet, as well as describe some of the social media events that we have going on. The town hall is designed to provide information on a number of community activities and also provide you an opportunity to ask questions about ongoing activities on Fort Sill or any questions that you think that the leadership here at Fort Sill can answer. We also take your comments, compliments, and any other thing you want to share on with us here at Fort Sill. Before we get started to our formal presentation, I'd like to just give you some highlights of upcoming events. My director, MWR, will get into a more detailed for the full summer event later on in the show. But in the short term, coming up on Monday, 14 June, as many of us know, is the Army birthday, also Flag Day. So I encourage you, if you're out and about on Monday morning, 9 o'clock, we have a Flag Day ceremony at the post headquarters. And just keep the Army birthday in your thoughts on the 14th of June, with many of our service members serving in faraway places. And keep their families in your thoughts, too. We're really excited about the 2nd of July. Is our 4th of July concert featuring Toby Keith. And tickets for that are on sale currently. I encourage you to go buy your tickets. They're going fast. And then in August, school comes back in, and we'll talk a little bit about that as our program progresses. Before we go any further, I'd like to share with you some ground rules. Right now, we're going to go to Mr. Tom Eastley. Tom's team has been working hard on various aspects of our social media, to include the first time ever of the live streaming of the TV town hall over the internet. So Tom will take a moment to explain that to you and other aspects of our social media. Tom?
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning on your television. However, tonight marks a significant event with the Garrison Town Hall. If you go to your browser and type in USA Army Fort Sill, you're going to get a link that says United States Army, USA Garrison Fort Sill. Why don't you go ahead and click that link? It'll bring you to our homepage. If you look on the left side, you're going to see a Town Hall button. Go ahead and click that button and join us live for the Fort Sill Garrison Town Hall, streaming straight to your computer. At this time, I'd also like to discuss with you some other social media outreach programs. First is our Garrison website. This page is updated often and contains a plethora of information that you can get of what's going on with Garrison, Fort Sill, Lawton, and surrounding communities. This page also contains many links. One of those links I'd like to discuss with you is Tell the Garrison Commander. By using this link, you'll be able to send an email directly to the Garrison Commander, and please expect a prompt response from the Garrison headquarters. Another social media that we use now is a Garrison Facebook. When you go to our Garrison Facebook, please click the like button, become a fan of the Garrison, and be able to interact with the Garrison, post comments, pictures, things of that nature. And as we go through those and notice areas and issues, we'll be glad to answer those for you. And as always, you have the Garrison Town Hall as broadcasted on Channel 8 and some other channels. This is just one of many of the social outreaches that Fort Sill Garrison is providing Fort Sill and the surrounding communities. However, the dissemination of information is only good as our feedback. We would love to have your feedback on any of those social media outreaches. And as always, we appreciate your feedback and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Tom. Our goal is to hear the voice of the customer. One of our main missions here in the garrison at Fort Sill is to provide service to our soldiers and families, our Department of Army civilians, our contractors, and everyone that comes to visit Fort Sill to live and work. We have our ICE cards and our ICE program, which is the interactive customer assessment that is available both online and in cards throughout the installation. And now we have both our home page, which is easily reached, as well as our Facebook page. You may have noticed in our Cannoneer that I have a Did You Know column in the a weekly column written by the Garrison Commander, where I try to cover some community information. So the bottom line is if you have something to say or concern or you want to share something with us, we're trying to give you multiple avenues to provide that information to us. Our next presenter is Colonel Michael Rave. Colonel Rave is our Reynolds Army Community Hospital commander, and he's here to talk some medical issues and some exciting news that's occurring at Reynolds. Colonel Rave.
Thank you, Colonel Lacey. I do appreciate the opportunity to briefly discuss a few issues that are of current interest to your hospital. First of all, I want to thank you and thank all of our customers. Thank you for being part of our process improvement. We're a service organization, and as such, we only get better with your feedback. Now, there are many ways that we receive feedback. Colonel Lacey mentioned a few that are pertinent to the garrison, but they're pertinent to us as well. We get direct feedback from our customers. We get feedback through the ICE comments as well. But there's an additional way we get feedback through the Department of Defense surveys that are sent to you after you visit our hospital. These are very important to us. It's very possible for you to send out and encouraged for you to give feedback in multiple ways, even for the same visit. The reason why these are so important is that we need to hear both the areas that we can do better for you, critiques, so to speak, but we also need to hear your positive feedback as well. We need to know where we're doing well so we can sustain those and continue to provide the great service that we've been expected. A vast majority of our customers are very satisfied with our services, but we'll never rest until we get 100% satisfaction with everything that we do. We appreciate the many hundreds of you that do provide comments every month, and keep it up. The next topic I'd like to discuss is the 2010 Health Care Reform Act. Some people call it Obamacare. The legislation is now law. Passed by our Congress and signed by our President, it will go into effect over the next few years. There's been some concerns on how that might affect the Department of Defense beneficiaries. First off, every indication that we have, both from our senior leaders in Congress, senior leaders in the administration, as well as senior leaders in the Department of Defense, tell us that there will be no change or decrement in any of the great services that we provide to our current beneficiaries. In fact, there may be certain ways that our services will be enhanced. For example, there's been a lot of interest in whether or not the legislation, which actually calls for coverage of children of individuals with health care insurance to extend until the children reach the age of 26, will be extended to the same TRICARE coverage that you currently get. As you know, dependent children, if they're full-time students, have their benefits active through the age of 22, up to their 23rd birthday. There has been legislation introduced, and we're hoping, and we see every indication that it will be successful in passing in the 2011 National Defense Authorization Act, that coverage will be extended to DoD beneficiary children up to the age of 26 to match the new 2010 health care reform legislation. I don't have the details yet. As soon as we have them, we'll be happy to share them. Finally, I'd like to talk about a very exciting project that Fort Sill is a part of. Early this fiscal year, it was announced that Fort Sill would be the recipient of a grant, and we were selected to open up one of the first community-based primary health care clinics within the Department of Defense. What these clinics are an effort to make right our support of the Army Family Covenant, to increase access to our beneficiaries, and to create a better experience for our primary care beneficiaries. Let me explain a few things about this. We're currently working with the Corps of Engineers and their office here at Fort Sill for a site location. We'll be looking for a commercial property off post in which to house this particular clinic. The clinic will be staffed with all GS staff. There will be no military staff, but the oversight of the clinic we will maintain with the hospital. The clinic will be open for active duty beneficiaries, active duty dependents only, not for active duty soldiers, not for retirees. This fits the model that we've been directed with which to use this grant money to open up this clinic. Now, this clinic is not an expansion of services. So the same great services that we provide, we will maintain. What this clinic will give us is an expansion of space, so that we hope to make the experience that we're currently providing more efficient, both inside our current medical treatment facility as well as with this new primary care clinic. We're expected to open up, if everything falls within the right timeline, sometime in the fall of 2010. We look forward to working with our community partners and with our garrison to make sure that we meet these timelines, and hopefully before the end of the year we'll offer this as an additional service for all our beneficiaries. Again, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Colonel Rave, thanks very much for that. The folks out at Reynolds do a great job, and we really appreciate their work every day, and really thank Colonel Rave for sharing that exciting news with us. Before we go to our first public service announcement, I want to remind you that our phone lines are open, and that number is 442-1100. In the studio tonight, I have the directors of most of the directorates on post and other support personnel. So we have a lot of subject matter experts that can answer your questions directly, or if unable to answer tonight, we'll be able to get you an answer in the future. So we're going to go to our first public service announcements, and please start dialing your phones. Thank you.
Reynolds Hospital wants you to know about the many behavioral health services available to active duty soldiers and their family members. Our website offers a number of helpful resource links. These links offer information on depression, anxiety, stress, and relationship issues. There are programs that address life skill development, resiliency across the development cycle, and the prevention of harmful behaviors such as domestic violence, alcoholism, and suicide. To access these services, just Google Reynolds Army Hospital and select Department of Behavioral Health Services on our webpage. For additional assistance, please call 442-4351. We at Reynolds Army Community Hospital are interested in knowing how you feel about each experience you have with us. After visiting with your provider, you may receive an Army Provider Level Satisfaction Survey, known as APPLES. When you make the time to answer the survey, you make us aware of what is working well for you and what changes you would like to see at the hospital. It only takes 2 to 3 minutes to answer the survey. Survey results benefit the hospital financially and allow us to improve services for you. We appreciate your willingness to give us feedback and ask that you continue to answer the survey each time you receive one in the mail. For questions, please call 558-2390.
Imagine jumping out of an airplane at 12,000 feet and free falling towards the ground, paddling a raft through raging rapids and drops, climbing to great heights with only strength, will, and a rope keeping you from falling, or leading your team through the woods and fields with intensity and speed to mark or be marked in paintball. Take those images and envision them supporting unit cohesion, esprit de corps, resiliency, and having the ability to release stress, aggression, and residual adrenaline created by deployment. Warrior Adventure Quest is where high adventure, adrenaline-pumping outdoor recreation and psychological battle mind training collide to promote a physically and psychologically stronger Army. A program where climbing equals unit cohesion and commitment, free-falling equals mental fitness. Paintball equals productivity, and rafting equals resiliency. Reintegration and readiness and teamwork equals transition. Are you strong enough? Is your team strong enough? With Warrior Adventure Quest, you can be. Launching September and October is support of Reset. Contact MWR Outdoor Recreation at 442-3575 for more information.
Hi, welcome back to our TV Town Hall. Our next presenter is the Director of Family, Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, and Ms. Brenda Spencer-Radwin will go over some of the very exciting events we've got coming up in this summer. Brenda?
Thanks, sir. As Colonel Lacey said, we've been busy planning a lot of different events for the summer. You know, school is out, summer is upon us, so it's time to have some fun. Our signature event of the year, of course, is our summer concert series, and we're excited to announce that once again we've been able to lock in our summer concert series for the 4th of July weekend. We'll have Toby Keith appearing here in concert for us on the 2nd of July. Our gates will open at 6 p.m. and the show will start at 7. We've also been able to negotiate an agreement we're very excited about with Joey and Rory, and also Jaron in the Long Road to Love. They will be our opening acts, and if you have not listened much to these entertainers, you need to get out there because they are incredibly, they're fun. Let me say that. Tickets are on sale at Easy Go and also at Adventure Travel. They're $30 in advance, $35 at the gate, so buy now. All right, next up, we've also been looking at getting fit this summer. So we've got a fantastic family-friendly fitness class going on. We have running clubs, postnatal fitness, stroll and stride, parents and kids aerobic, and also kids functional fitness. We have hourly child care that's available for each one of these classes, and we would encourage you to please stop by Building 4700 and take advantage of those hours that are available for child care. Or also you could call. Our number is 558-4305 or 4306. And you can also always visit us on the web at www.sillmwr.com. In addition, we've got our Learn to Swim program. Our Learn to Swim program actually kicks off on June the 7th. We'll have classes June 7th, 21st, July 12th, 26th, and also again on August the 9th. Again, you can register for these classes online, or you can stop by Building 4700, and we would encourage you to take advantage of these classes. And, of course, for those that are not into swimming right now, we have the spray park. It's fun for all ages. We're excited because this is our 2nd year of operation, and the spray park is probably one of our most popular activities for the summer. It is free. It is open Thursday through Tuesday. It is closed on Wednesdays for maintenance and just general cleanup. Again, please take advantage of it. It's located at the end of Fort Sill Boulevard, and it is there for you. This was a program that was generated from a customer survey, and it has proved to be very successful for the installation and our families. All right. For me, one of the most exciting things that we have going on this summer is, once again, we will be opening up a Child Development Center. Our 232-space Child Development Center will open on August the 24th as we once again partner with Lawton Public Schools to offer pre-K here on the installation. We're excited about that partnership because it's not only a great benefit for our children, it's also a savings to our families. This is a state-funded pre-K program. If you have not registered, I would encourage you to please visit MWR Child and Youth Services and let's get you signed up. The good news is with the new Child Development Center, we will be able to expand our offerings on our hourly care, our drop-in care that has been a need here on the installation, and we also received feedback through the town hall forum that we did not have enough hourly space. This center will bring us up to 588 total spaces on the installation for child development services. So that is a really good win-win story for the installation. One of my favorite locations is Lettra, Lake Elmer Thomas Recreation. It is here on the installation. It is a beautiful 500-acre park. We've got water boats. We've got water bikes on the lake. We've got cabins. We've got miniature golf. We've got beach volleyball, and of course we've got our own beach. And we've got a dock. And we have the biggest bass in Oklahoma at Lettra. If you have not been out to Lettra, I would encourage you to take advantage of it. This past weekend, we celebrated with more than 8,000 people total showing up at Lettra. So it's a fun place to be, and it is free and open to the public. All right. In addition, we have NEOS. If you have not been by our Fort Sill Co-op Park, I would encourage you to please visit our co-op park. We have the first electronic play system for the playground that has been introduced to a military installation. It combines the speed and fun of video gaming with the explosive movement of aerobic exercises. There's not a day that you drive past that park that children are not out getting physically fit and having some fun. So please go by there. It's located on Fort Sill Boulevard, again at the Co-op Park. Finally, we have our summer reading program. It's open at Nye Library. If you have not joined our summer reading program, I would encourage you to visit Nye Library, or once again, I would encourage you to go by our website on www.sillmwr.com and log in and see all the fun activities that we have scheduled for the summer. Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda. And if you didn't think anything was going to happen at Fort Sill, that'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff happening. I'd also like to tell you, don't forget about our standard offerings of golf. Although our golf course took a pretty good beating during the ice storm, the MWR crew has worked hard and long, and it's in good shape, and it's getting better every day. There's also bowling. If you want to escape that 100-degree heat in the afternoon, we have a very fine bowling alley that's open regular hours, and I'd encourage you to go there. Another thing I'd like to emphasize is the child development centers. Brenda mentioned our increased capacity. If you haven't checked the wait list or you haven't really looked back at child development center use on post, I challenge you to go back and take a look, especially if you're sponsoring new families coming in. Don't discount our child development centers. The quality is very high, the standards are high, and 2 of the 3 new child development centers are just that, brand new. So I'd encourage you, take another look at our child development centers. They're well worth your time, and being a military parent myself, I'm very impressed with them. Our next presenter is our Director of Public Works, Mr. Randy Butler. Randy's going to go over some exciting projects and give you an update on some of the things happening at Fort Sill. So without any further ado, Mr. Butler.
Well, good evening. I'd like to talk about 3 different topics with you tonight. As the Colonel mentioned, we'll specifically talk about the construction that's going on post. If you The Colonel talked about his Did You Know articles. 2 weeks ago, he had an article that talked to some of the projects, and tonight I'll try to give you a little bit glimpse of a lot more that's going on post and a lot of the future development that we're looking at in addition. The next topic I'd also like to talk to you about is the signage and the tremendous amount of efforts that we've put into trying to improve the signage across post, and then also talk about what we call the wayfinding signs that also direct you to different facilities. Then last, we'll talk about bike trails. There's a lot of interest in the city of Lawton on bike trails. That interest is also here at Fort Sill, and we'd like to give you an update on that. So if we could go to the first slide on construction, please. What we've done is broken this up into 2 slides for you. The post is a little bit on the large side to try to show you all the construction projects, and these are not all the projects. But you'll take a look at what we've tried to do is give you a legend off to the right-hand side, and then big numbers with a star where those projects are. So what I'd like to do is, starting at the lower right corner, you'll see 2 stars that are labeled 5 and 4. These are the new, what we call mega dining facilities. They're over on the basic training side of post that will give us a tremendous asset in now being able to feed the soldiers in an efficient manner to meet the training schedules, and also what it does is now frees up the old dining facility, which is in the starships, for training classrooms. So those two projects basically will give us 2 mega dining facilities that will feed 4 battalions as a total, 2 in each, and then in the 4 vacated dining facilities, we're going to construct additional classrooms that allow then the unit to train the soldiers. So a tremendous project. As you work up to just above that, you'll see a star that is labeled number 40, and that is what we call the TBUP, which is the Training Barracks Upgrade Program. This particular starship is going under a full renovation, as will the other 4 in sequential order, but what the scope of work here is to take basically and almost gut the inside of the facility, provide new interior finishes, and in more particular, we're going to provide better mechanical systems as a whole, and then also upgrade the electrical so that we have the increased capacity for computers and electronics in the buildings, along with better finishes and windows. Again, looking at energy conservation throughout. So that'll take us approximately 15 months in order to complete each one of the starships. And this particular program, going through all 5, will last us all the way through FY17. So a lot of construction there on the east side. Just above that, you see the number 32. 32 is a future project that is right now planned for the FY12 time period, which is called the Reception Battalion. If you know on post, the 95th AG Battalion, which receives the basically the civilian soldier in and then processes them into the Army prior to going over to the training side, you understand that they're in some very old facilities. Well, this project now is to build them a new reception complex over on the east side so that, again, we'll have all the entry and training for basic training soldiers on the east side, but it's going to give them a state-of-the-art facilities, as a matter of fact, throughout on that east side. When you jump over to the more the left center, you see a star that it's labeled 14. That is an expansion project on our school system in combination with the Lawton Public Schools. We're looking to expand the Geronimo School, and the school district is working those plans right now, and there's a lot of pieces that are underway. I won't talk to the exact specifics because that is something that the school district can talk more to, but this is the area that we've actually programmed it. That's coming. You should probably see that within the next 2 years with some early construction here within the next year at that point. If you look over to the far left-hand side, you see a star that's 15. This is an APHIS project. APHIS, as we have built to expand, has committed to build a brand new shopette there on Sheridan Road. This, the location, if you know where the Constitution Park is, this is going to sit right there on top of Constitution Park. And we're going to move Constitution Park back over to where the museum is. So all those monuments are going to be preserved and well taken care of and put in around the museum area. But that particular piece of land lends itself well to being able to service housing areas and then also the other folks on post. So we anticipate to be able to start this shopette project here towards the tail end of the year. Above that, you see the numbers 45, 44, and 46. These 3 projects are stimulus dollar projects that we got as part of the President's stimulus package. What we're going to be doing is tackling Snow Hall, Knox Hall, and then over to Serby Hall to renovate these facilities. In Snow Hall, we're tackling the education classrooms themselves, again, going after the HVAC systems that are very antiquated and the like. Then we have a central plant. We're going after the piping pieces, some of the infrastructure that the engineers deal with, but in order to provide a good environment for the training, we have to repair some of these systems. Major dollars in order to accomplish the work in Snow Hall. Up in Knox Hall, on the 2nd floor, where we had an activity move in, BRAC dollars were not provided for the renovation of that 2nd floor. Well, we competed that in the stimulus project list, and that was funded. So now we have the dollars to renovate that 2nd floor for the additional part of the Fire Center of Excellence. So they'll get improved facilities, adequate facilities, updated so that it'll have both, again, HVAC and electrical and the comms that are necessary for them to do their job. So Knox Hall, again, under construction. If you already know, we're putting a roof on top of Knox Hall right now. And again, you just continue to see the improvements that we were making on all the facilities throughout the installation. Then we have Serby Hall. Serby Hall really is not a stimulus project. It's a project that Colonel Lacey funded with SRM dollars. Again, we're going after a facility that has been let somewhat decay in a way because we didn't see some of the problems behind. We have some foundation problems. Again, we have some HVAC problems and some electrical pieces that we're going after. That particular project should kick off again here sometime in the late summer, September time period in order to get that building back into a higher state of adequacy and to meet standards for the 428 Brigade that will move back into the facility. Go to the next slide, please. This is more the west side. This is on the west side of Fort Sill Boulevard and shows you the numerous types of projects that are on that particular side. In the lower left, you see the Star 1. That is the 31st ADA complex. Next to it is the Star 3. That's the Armed Forces Reserve Center complex, both under construction. If you've been on post, you know these wells because you've seen them come up out of the ground very efficiently and fast. Both of those are right on schedule and are going to give us that increased capacity under BRAC. When you look at the Star 43, which is basically in the center and in the lower part, that's where our partner, Pursuant Military Housing, is building the new Buffalo Acres on the old Cedar Lakes Golf Course. And that is due to kick off here this year with their groundwork. Within, you'll probably see houses sometime early to mid part of next year as they again build out their capacity to provide quality homes for the military soldiers here on Fort Sill. You see next to it 29. 29 was a great win for us. This is what we call advanced training barracks. Some of our soldiers have been in some very old style barracks. Congress this year appropriated and gave us the dollars to now build phase 1 of the AIT barracks complex, and that's going right in that area. That's right off of the north side of Moway, right after you exit or you come off of Fort Sill Boulevard. So that big open area that a lot of folks used to see World War II wood in is now going to become an AIT barracks complex for the field artillery soldiers in particular. As you look up to 26, which is about that center just up to the little bit north and to the left, this is the Warrior Transition Unit. This is a brand new barracks complex and admin complex for our wounded warriors. Again, Congress appropriated the dollars for us to build a company-size complex that will have an admin building, what we call an SFAC, which is Service Family Assistance Center, and then a barracks complex for them. And that will go right there on the north side of where the hospital is, because as most of those soldiers, they use the hospital, so we were able to really locate that close to the activity that they need to be close or been able to use. And I can go on. I'm going to let you take a look at at the side. This just gives you a glimpse of a lot of the things that are coming up throughout. To support on the MWR side, if you look at 27, which is in the upper right side, you see the new youth center. Brenda didn't mention that one yet, but let me mention that for her, is that this is a brand new NAF project. This is where the old Post Theater was, where we tore that down. We're going to build a brand new youth center now that supports all the youth across Post, but you can see it's really centrally located right across from Pritchard Field, so they can use those athletic facilities, along with right next to the housing areas at that point. So again, a real great location and a great facility that's going to be kicking off here, and the tail end of this year time period is when the construction should start. So you can see the massive amount of construction that we continue to do and have programmed in order to bring and expand the services here across Post. Let me now switch to the signs and the signage. Under Colonel Lacey's guidance and leadership and money, which is very key, he allowed us to really go out and tackle the signage across Post. A lot of not complaints, but concerns about being able to see street signs. Well, if you've been on Post, you've seen we've switched to what's called the AASHTO standard, which is a green sign with a white lettering, and it's very highly reflective. So hopefully now you'll be able to see all the street signs in a very clear and concise manner. On this slide, you see in the lower right, at the major intersections where we have the street lights, we've also now provided a very large backlit signs. So at night, these will stand out very distinctly. During the day, the large lettering, which is about a 10-inch lettering, gives you clearly an indication of what roads, what intersection you're at, and where to turn at that point. So again, we're trying to, to look clearly at how do we improve the trafficability across Post with the signage. Additionally, I mentioned the wayfinding signs. On the on the left-hand side of the slide, you see an example of what we call a wayfinding sign. These signs are throughout the Post, typically around those lighted intersections, but it's at convenient places that we try to guide new visitors, since we have a lot of families that are coming for the basic training graduations, for the AIT graduations, even for the other training graduations. We have a lot of visitors to Post. So we're trying to get them to those key facilities like the PX, the commissary, out to the training brigade, or over into to the command center. And in particular is to the Welcome Center for brand new soldiers coming to Post. So those signs are there to try to provide a way for folks to navigate Post without having to have a map in hand at that point. Now, Brenda has done a great job in getting maps at the gates, and this way, there are maps available, but the wayfinding signs are to allow folks to be able to navigate the Post a little bit quicker. Additionally, what we had is we're going after all the brigade and unit signs. The Army standard is a dark brown background with white lettering, and that's what we're transitioning to, and those examples are shown here on that slide. The last topic I want to talk with you is on the bike routes. As I mentioned, Lawton's done a great job. They're in their implementation phase, and they're going to connect to Fort Sill via the Fort Sill Gate, or what we call Scott Gate. There are some different components that we're working through because ODOT owns some of that land, but ODOT has a project that's going to be improving both the intersections there at Fort Sill Boulevard and Sheridan Boulevard as you enter to the installation, so you'll see construction there. But as part of that construction, they're going to provide us a 10-foot wide sidewalk that'll allow for that bike traffic. That'll get you up to the checkpoint. At the checkpoint, yes, we are also now, as we plan the expansion and renovation of Sill, Mulway, and Sheridan roads, which will be here in not the near future, but as dollars are available, we're going after those. We're going to also be now installing bike lanes as part of that expansion, so that it'll guide you from the entry point at Scott Gate all the way to the backside of Post to Apache, so that you can flow out. And our particular interest is to get you out to Lettra, so that you can bike out to Lettra, connect up with the refuse area, and then in addition, the MWR side has started to improve and put a project together that's going to improve the bike and trails in the Lettra area. So again, for those bike enthusiasts, again, we're trying to tap in and provide you a great means to get across Post. And for those folks that want to ride to work as part of a green initiative, very welcome to do so. And that's what the intent of a lot of these bicycle lanes in town and then on Post are intended to do. So those are my updates for you, sir.
Well, thanks, Randy. It's an exciting time to be here at Fort Sill, and Mr. Butler just touched the wave tops. Now, I understand there was a lot of information just presented to you, and you don't have to worry. That information will be posted. This whole show is taped, and it'll be posted on our website for your viewing at your leisure. So don't feel like you missed anything. You'll be able to go back to the home page and catch it. I will tell you, there is a lot of construction at Fort Sill. It's much more than what was just BRAC, or base realignment and closure. In fact, there's over $1.2 billion, that's billion, of construction planned over the next 5 years. So with all that new construction and improvement of our facilities will come some minor delays on our roads, some frustrating traffic issues, and I just ask you to be patient with us as we go and we improve Fort Sill, because one of our major goals is to create a state-of-the-art installation that we can train soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, and our coalition partners. Because the reason for Fort Sill being here is to train soldiers. And as you know, we train soldiers from basic training right through to the field grade officer level and above to brigade level commanders. So we're very excited about the improvements here at Fort Sill, and I hope you are too. Right now we're going to take a break and go to another public service announcement, and we'll be right back.
The range control mission is to enhance unit and soldier readiness by safely providing, coordinating, and controlling operations and maintaining range facilities in the Fort Sill Range Complex. The vision of range control management is to have a team comprised of motivated professionals whose ultimate goal is to provide the best training opportunity possible for all users of the Fort Sill Range Complex. The range control staff maintains and operates 70 small arms ranges and facilities, over 100 indirect firing points, and 86,000 acres of training land. Range Control's commitment to mission support was exemplified by being selected as the best range control in the Army for 2009. The Range Operations and Scheduling Department is responsible for reviewing the surface danger zone for each requested range to ensure that it can be safely conducted on Fort Sill. Over 1,500 requests are reviewed monthly, and the scheduling staff works diligently to deconflict multiple training events, maximize training opportunities, and ensure a safe training environment. Over 3,000 soldiers a year attend the range safety briefing provided by Range Control. The fire desk is responsible for the check-in and check-out of all units on Fort Sill. They verify OIC RSO credentials and work with Army Radar Approach Control to clear airspace when necessary, providing a safe training environment. They also serve as the first line of response for fires, emergencies, or medical evacuations on the range. Range inspector staff provides inspection and assists visits with training units, ensuring regulation compliance and upholding clearance standards. They can also provide a variety of unit assistance to both tenant and non-tenant units. The Special Operations Section is responsible for the safe operation of the installation's combat live fire ranges and obstacles course, enforcing safety procedures, as well as providing training advisors to units as needed. Range support assists units by operating targetry and scoring systems and performing range maintenance necessary to keep our ranges in top condition for users training at Fort Sill. ITAM, or Integrated Training Area Management, works to preserve and rehabilitate training lands for current and future operations. They also utilize Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, to manage and plan land utilization and have the capability of producing a wide variety of mapping products. Range maintenance maintains training lands and ranges with a variety of specialized equipment and individual skills. Whether it's building a trail and placing targets or moving earth, the range maintenance section is ready to ensure that the range training complex is kept in the best possible state and ready for your training.
Hi, welcome back. Before we go to our MWR director for a couple more highlights, we have a question that was submitted online through our ICE, our Interactive Customer Assessment System. And it's actually not a question but a comment. The Computers for Learning program with Mr. Davey, Mr. Ward, and Mr. Cobb is incredible. Geronimo Road Elementary School recently received 40 computers, 5 laptops, and 6 small laser printers for students. Each of these gentlemen went above and beyond to help us in a timely manner. What a gift for our students. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Signed, Harold McCann, Principal, Geronimo Road Elementary School. And those gentlemen that the principal named were all from our Director of Logistics. This is a program where our directorate works some of the computers that are no longer needed and have been life cycle replaced on the installation. And we're able to give it to our elementary school kids, and in this case, it went to Geronimo Road School. So we're very proud of our civilian employees here, as we are of our soldiers and our contractors. But that just highlights some of the good stuff that our Director of Logistics, in this case, is doing. So thanks to those gentlemen for all they do for our families. I'd like to transition now over to Miss Brenda Spencer-Ragland. Brenda has a couple more activities she'd like to highlight for the community. Brenda?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mentioned Toby Keith was coming to town, but my favorite show of all, my favorite concert series is coming, and that is the Soldier Show. The Soldier Show will be performing at our Sheridan Road Theater. They will be here on the 30th and 31st of July with our show starting at 7:30 p.m. If you have not been out to take advantage of the Soldier Show, I will tell you that you're missing a wonderful opportunity to see some quality talent in performance. These soldiers go through a very competitive process to make the team, and when they come, I will tell you that it is standing room only, and the feedback that we receive is always of the highest level. It's just fantastic to see these great performers, these great soldiers coming here performing for our great Americans here on the installation. So please get out and support them. It is free, but you do need a ticket. Tickets are available at Building 4700, our MWR headquarters. I would ask that you come by there, pick up a free ticket, and once again, get out and support these great Americans that are out performing for us. In addition, I'd like to talk to you about another great program that we have. It's a fantastic partnership. As we plan out our summer activities, we have a special group that we want to provide a quality time, and that's our children with special needs, both physical and mental. And we're very excited to once again be able to bring Camp Cowabunga. And I'm extremely proud of Colonel Lacey and the leadership that he has provided, but also our corporate leaders that have come out and sponsored the opportunity this year. Our one-week camp will start on the 2nd of August. It will run through the 6th of August at the Patriot Club. Our campers will buddy up with a soldier. Each camper that shows up will be linked to another soldier that has volunteered to come out and be with that camper for the entire week. It's a great opportunity for fun. The agenda has been planned out. We will be getting them out to a lot of different parks, a lot of different activities, and places that they may not often get a chance to go. And it's just fantastic. If you are interested in signing up your camper, you can go to our website at www.sillmwr.com. If you're interested in volunteering, and I'd like to make a special plea for our volunteers, we cannot do the MWR programs that we do on this installation without our volunteers. So if you're out there and you're looking for a way to give back to your community, think about Camp Cowabunga. It's a wonderful experience, and I guarantee you, you will be rewarded just as much as the children that participate. For that, I need you to physically come into Building 4700, see our Army Community Services Office, our volunteer coordinator, Ms. Gail Kaufman. We will get you registered. We'll get you signed up. We do need you to come in early so that we can do the background check. But please take advantage of that. Again, the camp will run from the 2nd to the 6th of August. I also want to talk about, we talk about a lot of fun, got to cover boater safety. I actually live out by the lake, so I get to see a lot of boats out on the lake in the summertime. And I will tell you that if you're going to get out and take advantage of the boat, especially here on the installation, you must have a boater's safety card. We've also went out and bought new boats that you can check out from our Outdoor Adventure Center. But again, you must go through a boater's safety class. Our first class will be coming this Saturday, the 4th of June. It will start at 9 a.m. and it will go until 4 p.m. And it's offered at our Outdoor Adventure Center, which is at the Recplex, Building 2502. The class is restricted to 25 participants. I would ask that you arrive about 8:45, be prepared to start the class, and please take advantage of that, not just for your safety, but for the safety of all others. Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda, and thanks to the whole team at MWR and what you do every day. They call it Morale, Welfare, and Recreation for a reason, because they really help promote and increase the morale on the installation. So thanks again for all that. I would like to emphasize the soldier show. These are active duty and reserve compost soldiers that train and then tour the United States and overseas and give a real quality Broadway caliber show that is for free. And if you have never had a chance to see it, I truly encourage you, come out 30th and 31st of July and take a look. You'd be very proud of your soldiers and their ability to perform. We've got about 10 minutes left of our show, so I'd remind you that our lines are open. The number is 442-1100, and we encourage your phone calls. What I'd like to do now is just briefly transition to the Installation Management Command campaign plan. As many of you know, I work directly for General Halverson, the Commanding General of Fort Sill. But the supporting agency that supports installations and run installations throughout the United States and overseas is Installation Management Command. And under Installation Management Command, we have a campaign plan. It's basically a blueprint to really figure out, are we doing the right things and are we doing them right? So I'd like to show you the beginning of the campaign plan, if you could show the first slide. On this slide, it's a little bit difficult to read, but what I'd like to tell you is the mission of the Installation Management Command is to provide the facilities, the programs, and the services required to support Army readiness, sustain the all-volunteer force, and provide for the infrastructure for current and future mission requirements. That's very important because our mission is to support the mission. So I really like to emphasize that. This is all in a circle of safety. We take safety very seriously here, from the commanding general down to the brand new private and basic training. Everything we do a mission analysis and a safety analysis of what we do. The same is said for how we do installation support services. It's imperative that it underpins all we do. One of the legs is sustainability. Sustainability, we try to integrate the application of all sustainability principles into daily operations, whether it's energy conservation, or taking care of our ranges, or our cultural resources here in the installation, it's all about sustainability. Another leg, the other leg going to the right, is resilience. We stay focused on the mission. Resiliency is key, and you also see resiliency in our Team Sill Oklahoma Pride, the R in Pride. Innovation, we like to think that in Installation Management Command, and here specifically on Fort Sill, we harvest the best practices from other installations. We steal liberally from good ideas, and as well from other installations, government agencies, industry, and academia. Stewardship, we want to be good stewards of our resources. We don't want to waste resources or unnecessarily damage resources in the execution of our mission. We like to be good partners. Brenda and our MWR team talked about the partnership with Lawton Public Schools, but we partner in many ways with the Oklahoma State University, University of Oklahoma. We partner with many of our community groups, and one of our very good partnerships, which is about to reach its 30th anniversary, is our partnership with the Downtown Lawton Area Chamber of Commerce and our co-op program, where downtown businesses and units on post partnership in what we call the co-op. And through the co-op, they do community service activities and mutual activities that benefit both the downtown community as well as the Fort Sill community. So we're very excited about partnership. Finally, it's communication. Doing what we're doing right now. Communicating to you, the community, that community information that's important for you to know, as well as giving you avenues to communicate through to us and to the commanding general your concerns, your issues, and your compliments. Active communication is critical to our mission. And the next slide. And finally, the second part of the plan is our line of efforts. How do we get to know we've accomplished our mission? And we work in 6 different areas that are listed on your screen. And in priority, soldier, family, and civilian readiness is our #1 job here at the garrison. Readiness for combat, readiness for when your soldier goes away and you're prepared to stay behind and take care of the family and the day-to-day business to live in. And the well-being of our soldiers, families, and civilians, whether that through continuing education for our civilian employees, education and employment opportunities for our families, or education for our soldiers, which we're most familiar with military training. We're very proud of our leader and workforce development programs here on the installation. We have a very active program through our Director of Human Resources and Workforce Development. And I challenge our employees to look into those programs if you haven't looked at them lately. We have a very active workforce development program and a relatively newly established orientation of new employees, where we bring on new employees throughout the installation, whether it be at the hospital or the fire center or on the garrison, and we bring them through an orientation program that actually includes a garrison tour and a visit to our very, very well-established museum, that if you haven't been to the museum lately, it's really a sight to see, and we're very proud of it, both our Fort Sill Museum and our Field Artillery Museum, so I'd encourage you to go to that. Our other lines of effort include safety. I mentioned that safety is wrapped in all we do, and we're very proud of our safety here at Fort Sill, but you never can be too proud or too safe. So I'd ask you to just think about safety in all you do. And then finally, energy efficiency and energy security is critical here on the installation. I'd ask you to think about when you walk out of the house or you take a day trip to adjust that thermostat to a reasonable temperature, shut off those unnecessary lights, and think about energy. It's your tax dollars and mine as well that pay for that electricity that's being used. So I'd ask you to think about that. That's the IMCOM campaign plan in 2 slides. The whole plan, if you're interested, is posted on our website, and I encourage you to take a look at it. That gives my staff and myself direction on how to best support the Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill. Now we do have a caller, Jim. Jim, you still on the line?
I am, sir.
Jim, go ahead with your question.
Hey, sir, I just wanted to give some kudos and some positive feedback to a lot of the initiatives going on at Fort Sill. And I know we're just about out of time, so of course I don't really need any feedback, but I have some issues, and I think that you guys can look at some things. First of all, the Recplex. You know, I have boys that are 10 and 11, or no, 11, 12, and 13, and you know what a great thing. I don't have to buy a pool table. You know, they want to play pool and ping pong. We can go over there and play for free. And it's a great thing. Same with the Letra and going out and checking out a canoe and doing all kinds of activities with them. The last one is the hunting and fishing. I don't think any post in the world has the access for hunters or fishermen that we do here. The folks out there at the Fish and Game give us access to places where people are actually training, whereas in many other installations you block they block off whole areas. So the work that they do provides us an awesome hunting and fishing environment. Three things that I was just going to point out. One is the Sheridan Road Elementary. As you drive by it, it obviously looks a little bit run down. I'm hoping that we can work. I know it's a lot in public school. I'm hoping we can work with the APLAWS program or whatever type of a program where we can somehow, improve the look of that school. Even though we might be, getting rid of it in a couple of years, I'm not sure if that's the plan. The next one is the 3-mile track. I heard about the bike trail concept. Maybe there's a way that we can have if we increase the size of that track in the near future, we can add bikes to where you have different lanes. That's what's going on around the country in many places. And the last one is the Apache Gate hours. I think that in the Wichita estates and a lot of the housing out on the north side of Post, there's a lot of folks that would appreciate having those hours increased. I believe we've probably decreased it due to manning and cost.
Well, Jim, I appreciate first of all, your taking the time to call in and being an active community member. Thanks for your kind words about our hunting and fishing and recplex. We do have a very good hunting and fishing program. I'd encourage folks that haven't had a chance to go to our hunting and fishing area to check it out. They have a very vibrant youth hunting and fishing program, and we have a fishing derby for our kids coming up. So I encourage you. I know we're running out of time, but let me give you a quick soundbite on a couple of the things you said towards the end. Sheridan Road School and Geronimo School will be the beneficiaries of the just passed 0.5% sales tax down in Lawton. The current proposal, which hasn't been completely worked through the Lawton Public School, is put the majority of the monies that would have went to Sheridan Road towards Geronimo and to do more expansion at the Geronimo School, and to put enough monies to bring the maintenance issues up at Sheridan Road, and then eventually divest ourselves of the Sheridan Road School because of the location and its proximity to the perimeter. We'll give you more on that as it develops in the public school board meetings, but that's the current plan. The 3-mile track, I got great news. We begin resurfacing of the 3-mile track in a couple of weeks, so you'll see a great improvement on the width and the lack of holes. So we've actually just worked that with the DPW. So more to follow. You should see improvements shortly. And then finally, Apache Gate hours. The good news is not as good there. We're kind of confined to a total number of hours we can service Apache Gate, but we continue to look at the gate traffic and we'll adjust as we can to better serve our customers. But thanks for those comments.
Cool, sir.
Okay, we're coming to a close of our show, and I thank you for your time and your participation. I'd encourage you to come up to our website, as Mr. Easley showed you. Take a look at the Garrison webpage. Send me a note. Tell the Garrison Commander. Use the ICE program if you have a comment or a suggestion, and we'll be sure to get back to you if you leave us some contact information. But like I said, it's an exciting time to be here at Fort Sill. I hope you're as excited as I am to look forward to the next year's construction. Please look to the Cannoneer for all those events upcoming and our next TV town hall. And from Fort Sill, good night.